So I went on a healing journey 8 years ago. My weight loss actually became a side effect. I originally took this journey to heal from my childhood wounds and my fears and belief patterns, and then I became a coach to help other people do the same. Take my 10-day series. That's right. So when you take my free 10-day series, when you log into my website and sign up for my mailing list, you'll not only get that, but you'll also discover on my website many other resources that definitely can help you, like my podcast, my blog post, and I also have many courses like Why Can't I Lose the Weight? This is really a great course that really has helped people change their relationship with food. And then I have other one-on-one coaching if you would like, and you can discover those options also on my website. That's www.cammienight.org/links to find out more of my courses. All right, now let's dive in today. All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys. Welcome back. And thank you guys for tuning in. Today, I want to come to you more about authenticity and the importance of trusting yourself and how I've been on the journey for a while now. I would say what popped in my head would be about 17 years when I started. Let's see, I'm 44 right now. And let's say 17 years ago, that would be what subtract 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27. So I guess about 27 was when I really started, when my gears started shifting. And it's interesting because 27 was the year that I gave birth to our first child, and I had a vision of her before I had given birth. So it's interesting. I am a person. I have the gift of sight. I'm very intuitive, but I didn't always trust that. There were times when I did, but I didn't know how to operate in it. I didn't know how to operate in it, and I did not know that it applied to every aspect of my life. And I lived most of my life, and honestly, up until recent, I have been following it even more. Following the Holy Spirit, following my intuitive guide within. I really, really have been following that. And for many, many years, I didn't think that it applied to every aspect of my life. And it just does. And it applies to every the Holy Spirit, your intuitive guide, applies to every aspect of your life. It really does. Everything. And I separated that. I didn't believe that I had that access to really, in essence, trust in myself. In simpler terms, because that's where the Spirit of God rests and lives on the inside of you. And the more that you become closer within, the more that you find out how you are connected to the divine as one. And so I have learned to trust that voice. And this is how manifestation works. I've learned to trust that voice, and not only have I learned to trust that voice, which is me, I also have learned to not be distracted by what happens externally, but to listen to that voice within, because you find out that voice within is your true guiding compass. That voice within is what truly creates a reality. And anything outside of you truly is not the answer or the power to the Spirit of God that lives, breathes, and speaks within you. And that's just that. I have heard instructions on this journey many times. And I learned on the journey to follow that path within. I have had instructions with God about money, instructions with God about the relationship with myself. And really, I'm just talking back to myself because that's where the Spirit of God lives. And so it is being one with yourself and trusting that and not allowing anything externally to deter what it is that you are hearing. And this is how, once again, how manifestation works. And I used to think that manifestation was so hard because of how I was wired to believe things from a place of struggle and lack, and that you weren't enough, and that you had to do more, and this hard work, and this pounding on the pavement, and work harder, and lose more sleep, and it was just insane. And although I did accomplish some things that will be tangible, I was losing sleep because I was always anxious. I was always afraid and feeling that I was going to lose it. And that's with every aspect of my life. And that is not how God is designed for us to live. That's just the truth. It's not how God has designed for us to live. And so when I had my encounter with God, because my life was going very chaotic and I was dysfunctionally functioning, and I knew that I had to change. I knew that something had to shift inside of me, because what was producing, it felt like I was pounding and forcing and prying and pulling and screaming and crying and frustrated and just angry and trying to force and make things physically and tangibly happen and change. And here it was, God showed me, and I chose to unplug from everything. And as I began unplugging from it all the distractions externally, that was when I took the journey with God within. And that's when I started becoming connected to myself, connected to the truth, connected to the power that lives within me, that's guiding me, that's speaking to me, that's flowing with me as me. And what oftentimes gets in the way of us not seeing the tangible of it is because of we don't believe that. We don't believe that our true source is within us from experience. We don't believe that what is speaking to us is our true guiding compass. We believe that what is in front of us or what we see, and oftentimes what we see sometimes is based out of our trauma experiences, or what we see is not always face value. Sometimes we see things through our wounds. Sometimes we perceive things through our fear. We perceive things through our abuse. We perceive things through our mental abuse. We perceive things to be what others may have labeled us to be. We perceive things based out of the messages and agreements that we've had in our mind. And here it is, when I had my awakening, God is saying, that's not who you are. And so I'm getting ready to show you who you really are. And so on this journey, that's the journey that I took of awakening. And as I began awakening, so the truths of who I was started unveiling within me, which came the weight loss, which came me helping others heal from their subconscious fears, which came helping me have a brighter and new and the true perspective about my belief patterns and how I saw myself, and every aspect of my life began changing. Not because I was trying, it changed when I started doing internally. And it took me a while, because it took me a while to really understand this. And the first time I realized about what true manifestation really meant was when I started doing the internal healing, the internal things, when God started revealing and showing me the ways in which I was showing up. And I started doing the internal healing and doing the work and listening and following that path. And it was sometimes not always easy because I was hard-headed. I thought I was stuck in my ways. I was stuck in former habits. I was stuck in certain belief patterns. But the divine awakening allowed me to listen within myself, to realize the power that I truly had within myself. And that took some time because, once again, I was used to fixing things externally, not internally, not listening within, not trusting yourself, not trusting within, and not comparing myself, but following that path and loving the path that I was on and drowning out the noise. That took some work because that wasn't how I lived. I've always had the Spirit of God within me. I've always had the gift of prophecy, the gift of healing, the gift of having a discernment and being very intuitive. But I didn't trust it. I just didn't believe that the spiritual world really was the spiritual world was really the way to showing up in life. That listening internally and tapping into things spiritually, things that you cannot see, tapping into the subconscious mind really was the answer to how you show up in life and how the forms begin shifting and becoming into alignment. And so this is why manifestation becomes more of ease when you find out and when you step into that knowledge of truth. This is what Jesus was sharing with people. Many people missed it. This is why Jesus said, this is why I have to go, so that you may know the Holy Spirit and the Comforter within you. Because if I stay, you will be codependent upon me and you will not rely upon what it is I have taught you. What it is I have taught you, how I have told you that I have left the Comforter with you. And so there, in essence, we embody that, and this is who we are, and this is what I have learned, that this is what Jesus was talking about. I think many people miss it, and I know I've missed it. I've been on a journey for 8 years of awakening, and to be honest with you, I just now have fully become fully aware, and not perfect, but just fully aware. I just want to share with you that it changes your life and it changes the lives around you, and that's how powerful you are. That's it. That's all I wanted to share with you on today. If this message helped you in any way, and if you believe that this message can help someone else, go ahead and share this video. I am a coach, and so you can find my information at the bottom. But I help men and women, heal from those subconscious fears, and so that they can know the power that they have within themselves and how they can shift them. And it doesn't have to take as long as as I did. And then time is relative. Okay, I'll if I feel led, I may share that, but time is also relative, right? God is outside of time, and oftentimes how we perceive time from a limited scarcity mentality, or that is out of our hands, as like, time is slipping away kind of a thing, causes us to feel fear and disempowered. But I have found the shifting in perspective as it relates to time. That time is more from a place of abundance, and that time is all about perspective, and as it relates to being abundant and not being something that is something to be afraid of or to have scarcity about. That's all I have to share with you. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave it at the bottom. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.